looking for this?
Welcome back to BoomShot. I'm Carol. This is Colby, and we have just finished watching Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and we have our thoughts about the movie. So if you've been waiting, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Just a spoiler warning: if you haven't seen the movie, go watch it first, then come back to the video. We'd love to have you watch it, but just want to make sure that you don't watch it before you watch the movie. That would be sad. That would be quite sad. So now that that's over, okay, what did you think about the movie?
I mean, I thought it was solid. There's definitely a lot going on.
I actually thought it was okay. I mean, I don't think it's Marvel's best project. I was hyped for the movie, and in walking in, it was okay, which obviously had been review bombed almost by critics who said the movie was trash. And that kind of taints people's perspective on the movie at the get-go. And so trying to walk in, like, still hype, but also kind of tainted because of what critics were saying. Like, that's the question. Do you feel like the critics' critiques were warranted?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's generally accurate to how I feel. But that being said, I mean, everybody, I think, should go into the movie with an open mind and judge for themselves.
Yes.
Because everybody's going to like it differently, dislike it in different ways. So, but yeah, I mean, I think in this one case, I think I aligned kind of with what they were saying. Yeah. Not as bad as what they were saying. I wouldn't have gave it a 58.
No, I wouldn't have either. I think it's a solid like 7 out of 10. Maybe like 6.5, 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I think it's a 7 or so. But I think what their critiques were, I would agree, just not as heavily against it.
Yeah, and there was a lot so it being a 7, like 6.5 / like 7 out of 10 means that it did a lot of stuff decent, but that in my mind makes the flaws even more glaring than it would be if it was like a 4 out of 10. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because like there would be nothing good to look at, but now since like they've done they did some stuff decent, like they did the stuff that is important for a movie, like pacing, like plot, VFX. The acting's always phenomenal. That's not a problem. Yeah. I would say like script writing, they did all of that like decent. Now it's much easier to see where they could have done better. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, nothing really blew my boots off with this movie except for Kang.
Yeah,
and Kang was not in it nearly enough.
No, so okay, we'll go over our quick thoughts about what we thought they did. What do you think they did well before we get into what we didn't like?
One of my highlights besides Kang, obviously, I feel like that's what everybody's saying, was Cassie. I really like Cassie's character in this movie, and I'm looking forward to see where they take her character with the Young Avengers and whatnot.
Yeah, I liked her as well. Liked her character as well. I actually did enjoy Scott a lot more in this movie than I thought I probably would. There was a fight scene with Kang, and Scott pulled some pretty nasty moves on Kang. I'm not gonna lie.
He was in his bag.
Yeah, he was in his bag. I didn't know Scott had I didn't know he had the potential in him, but it's really hard to make like a character that just shrinks and grows like that interesting, I guess, because they don't have like an array of powers. And he doesn't have, like, wrist blasters either. And he can't fly. So...
Yeah. I mean, I will say, I did love his giant man in this movie. It was pretty cool to see. I mean, usually, like I said before, he doesn't...
Yeah, he's not able to endure the taxing energy that it takes
He needs a lot of orange slices to sustain himself.
And Cassie actually...
that was a cool reference.
Yeah, anyway. And you basically have to eat a lot. Pretty much.
Citrus.
Yeah. Talk to Barry Allen in Batman vs. Superman. But anyway, honestly, I think they did everything decent, like I said earlier, but there wasn't anything like that stood out to me that they just did phenomenally.
I liked Kang's backstory. I liked that a lot.
Well, anything with Kang was fantastic.
Yeah, I think specifically they were going in the right direction there, but we just didn't get enough of it at the very beginning, like you said, just like Gore.
Yeah,
it starts off with that.
It starts off with something great, and then it just...
But Love and Thunder started off with Gore. And kind of hit him coming up. So, the same thing. And then we cut away from it for like 45 minutes. Mm-hmm. And then we see like maybe one more scene of his backstory. Yeah. And kind of explaining him and Janet's like them working together and stuff like that. Yeah, and I wish we'd have got a flashback to him. We kind of got like glimpses of him conquering. Yeah, I know, but I didn't get to see. I wanted to see him obliterating worlds like that. Yeah. That's what King the Conqueror does. I think we need to transition to what we didn't think they did well, because they did a lot of things decent, but they could have done a lot of things a lot better. And I think one thing that really stood out to me,
probably the most out of anything. First of all, King was underpowered. He was way too underpowered.
He got ran over by ants.
Yeah, he got ran over by ants. That's really what I was hinting at, because every single time we had like kind of like a 1v1 with Scott and Kang, or maybe like a 3v1 because Kang can take all three, Cassie, Hope, and Ant-Man all at the same time. But every time that happened, there was like on your left type moments like you see in Avengers Endgame. And ever since Avengers Endgame, I swear, every single time, there's always an on your left type moment, and it makes me mad. I'm tired of it.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was great in that movie, obviously, but...
Yeah. I'm not saying it was bad in Endgame.
I mean, I know what you're saying, like Rise of Skywalker.
Yes,
was almost
literally.
Bar for bar, the same thing, and then this, they brought in the whole army.
Yes.
A lot
Twice.
of things have been doing.
There was two on your left moments.
Yeah, the ants and the...
Yeah, the first time Scott is going... He's in Giant Man form, and he's taking down Kang's entire city, dude. Like, and Kang surrounds him with all of these, like, ships and stuff like that. And then this on your left made a lot more sense, though, because Cassie had called in this village, the guy with like the laser face, and then the woman who has the spear. Like, Cassie had called them in for support earlier on, and so they finally showed up at like just the right moment. Whatever, fine. The second on your left, where it's Wasp, Ant-Man, and Cassie versus Kang, and Kang is like giving this awesome monologue about how he's been here before. He's gonna kill them just like he killed the other Avengers the last time that this happened. Talking about how he squashed rebellions over and over and over again, and 17,000 ants.
He gets squashed by ants.
Yeah, and then 17,000 ants just show up out of nowhere, and Dr. Pym's he's like, oh, I just decided to show up, and I'm like.
The whole thing, I didn't really like where they went with the ants.
No, I didn't either.
Because it was kind of cool to see. It was like you said, Phineas and Ferb.
It literally is. That is from Phineas and Ferb. They stole that straight from Phineas and Ferb. Go watch the episode called Giants if you want to see it.
Because the ants and them went in at the same time, right? And the ants aged 1,000 years. They said.
Yes, they got stuck in like a parallel reality where they like became a second tier society and something like that. But literally an episode of Phineas and Ferb. I'm like bar for bar episode of Phineas and Ferb.
To me, that sounds like a what if episode.
Yes.
I mean, and it was the main. They destroyed Kang.
Yeah, So Kang like puts up his. By the way, Kang's suit is magnifique.
Yeah.
Like everything they did with Kang, minus the fact that he was underpowered, was beautiful.
Yeah, that 1 minute we got to see him like laser those people down and obliterate them.
Oh, that
was awesome.
My favorite part of the movie is when Laserface dude like shoots a beam of energy at Kang, and Kang just like slowly like grabs the energy and manipulates it, and then throws it back at him. It hits him straight in the face, and his head explodes. It was beautiful.
Yeah, we needed more of that.
We really did. But okay, so that was one thing I really didn't like. I hate when movies do that at this point, just because it's a common trope. But like also at the same time, like I've come here to watch like two heroes fight one another, not two armies fight one villain. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. To me, it's and I'm okay with that in an Avengers movie.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like Civil War, and I guess they tried to go for like a Civil War type thing here, like something that big.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. I think to me, there just wasn't enough exposition. Like there wasn't enough to get me invested into these characters. Obviously, I've been invested in them in the past, but in this movie, it's just like, boom, we're in the quantum realm, and boom, all this stuff's going on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well, here we are.
Let's compare it to another third MCU movie that came out in the last year and a half. That would be Spider-Man No Way Home. Spider-Man No Way Home doesn't get into like the bulk of its story until like after 30 minutes into the daggum movie. Whereas Ant-Man, after probably a good 10 minutes, you're already in the quantum realm pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy how fast they jump into it. And another thing is we didn't get any Luis.
Yeah, we didn't get any Luis. Or any of the ex-con people, dude.
I know. If they would have added 20 minutes to the front and 20 minutes to the back for exposition and more Kang, I think this would have bumped it up to like A tier.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I think strictly because of Kang. Should we talk a little bit about MODOK?
I mean, MODOK was funny. I mean, he was funny as a character, but I just wish that character as a comedic relief wasn't MODOK, because to me, I wish I want to see MODOK be just a killing machine.
Yeah, he was not a mechanized organism designed only for killing. He was a mechanized organism designed only for
goof and
comedic relief.
Yeah.
So he's a MODOK MODOK R or something like that. Like it just, it was unnecessary. For those of you who don't know, I guess like since you're watching this, you've hopefully seen the movie like we mentioned earlier. But MODOK is actually the Wasp. Wait, no, not the Wasp. The Yellow Jacket. Yeah. Darren Cross from Ant-Man 1. Feels like a wasted bring back kind of like...
Yeah, no. Man.
He really was like a joke. It really was just a joke. It was a running gag.
I know. And to me, I don't think they should have done MODOK like that because he's such a legend. And not saying that it... I just wish they would have went more comic, and I think they will.
Yeah,
because they killed him off at the end of this, so I think in the future they'll give us a more comic accurate MODOK.
Hopefully, yes. And so that's our piece about MODOK. I think Disney and Marvel Studios is plagued from not being able to tell stories that have stakes. I think that's the biggest problem. With like they could just kill off, which we haven't even mentioned this yet. How have we gone like 20 minutes without mentioning that Kang the Conqueror dies
allegedly
in this movie? I don't even understand it, dude. Like, but there's like 17,000 other Kangs that are like there's no stakes in any of these movies anymore. Yeah, which is a problem, and that needs to be fixed.
And I think with this movie, almost the stakes were so high you didn't even know they were there.
Yep.
Like they aimed for the moon and then it kind of fell short and we're like, wait, I thought this was supposed to be like a big spectacular, and then it's like, okay, well.
That is a good point. That is actually a very good point.
Yeah, I mean, it's
you'll understand it when you like, because it's hard to explain outside of the movie like to you. But you'll understand, like, they're talking about how Kang, if he gets out of the quantum realm, he's going to take over these gigantic worlds, and then he just gets kind of crushed like a bug.
I guess we were wondering how Scott was going to, like, even go hand to hand with him at the end. I guess his suit got malfunctioned, but still, we were rooting. We were verbally not like obnoxiously, but like we were like, "Come on, Kang!"
Yeah,
to ourselves, we were like, "Come on, jump through the portal."
Yeah,
get into Earth 616.
Yes, I literally there was a portal open. Cassie, this was a pretty cool moment. I will give them this. They open a portal back into the regular world. Hank and Janet and Cassie and Hope all get through. And right as Cassie's about to step through, Scott sees Kang on the other side of the portal running at him. Yeah. And so he pushes Cassie in and takes basically the punch from Kang. And they get in like a nice little 1v1. Like, it was actually good to watch. But then, of course, as always, Scott gets overpowered and Kang's about to kill him. And then Hope comes through the daggone portal and is like, and then they kill Kang. It was so dumb.
It's just everything to me was so convenient. Okay. I think that's the way I'm gonna put it. It's just too convenient. Okay, the answer here. Okay, Hope saved the day. Okay, they're stuck in the quantum realm. Psych, no, they're not.
Yeah,
they just got saved in half a second. They opened a new portal and it was a big
Janet's
deal.
Like, I think I figured this out. Like mastering Kang's technology like nothing, dude.
And then they blew up the thing, shrunk it. I mean, it's just everything was so convenient. Like, okay, how did that just happen?
Yeah, literally. I mean, it's difficult, man. It's hard because we love Marvel movies. That's literally why we started this channel. But you could easily say that we grew up during not even just the golden age, the platinum age of Marvel movies, dude. Like, we grew up in phase 1 through 3. Like, that was our childhood.
Yeah.
Like, in our childhood culminated with the two biggest movies probably ever to grace the big screen. Infinity War and Endgame. And
I feel like we're being hard on this movie. Not to say it's bad. I think it's a solid B. I mean, maybe a high C.
Yeah.
But, I think we're being hard on it. It's just because we know how much potential is there.
Yeah, there was so much potential with this movie. You have one of the most beloved characters from phase 2 on.
Yeah, that's true.
In Ant-Man. You have good supporting cast in Wasp, who is also one of the most popular Avengers in the comic books. And then Cassie, you got a nice father-daughter story that you could. You got Hank and Janet, who have finally been reunited. Like, they got reunited and then they got blipped away. Like,
yeah.
And then you have one of the most incredible actors in Jonathan Majors as Kang the Conqueror, which is one of the most incredible villains in comic book history. And I feel like it all just was nothing. It all went to nothing.
It's just there's a lot of plot armor going on.
Yes.
I feel like what to me, I'm like, why couldn't Kang just incinerate
He
everybody
literally
right now.
could have, though. Like, he was incinerating people. You think Scott's suit's going to protect him from getting incinerated? No.
Yeah.
No, it's just... And King... I think the thing that makes me so mad is that King talked so much smack in the movie and then was able to back up none of it.
Yeah, he got ran over by some ants.
Yeah, he got ran over by ants.
I just don't get it, man. I mean, I
this
think,
movie's left us speechless in a way.
I don't know. I mean, this movie is going to be essential viewing for the multiverse saga.
Yeah, you have to watch it.
You're going to have to watch it. And it's not like a torture to sit through, but I don't know.
It's one that you'll sit through once and probably not watch again.
I mean, I don't know.
I'd watch the King scenes again.
We'll have to see how it ages, but I just feel like there's more. Like, we're saying all this about the movie and be like, okay, this was disappointing, but I wanted more in a weird way. I wanted to see more, even though I felt disappointed, because I know that would have made the movie that much better.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, more is more. That's what a lot of people say. Less is more. Less is more in terms of like design, right? More is more in terms of storytelling. The more you have, the better. And that's what makes franchises like The Lord of the Rings so appealing. Like, it has such a deep lore to it. Give me more. I just want to see more. Especially of Kang, dude.
Dude, you know what would have been sick? It just dawned on me. If we saw Kang conquering the quantum realm. Like, flashbacks when we met those people that were like, oh, we've been devastated. Like, okay, show us how. Mm-hmm. Show us how you got destroyed.
Dude. Yeah, that would have been
nice.
nice.
I don't even know those characters' names. Did they even say?
I vaguely remember the girl with the spear's name, and then there was Blob dude. I remember Laserface. I remember that guy. I don't know what his name was. I remember the person who was a blob that was like drink the ooze or whatever. This sounds like a cult. Like if you.
There's another thing. Like they just drank this guy and then they could speak the language. I mean, I guess it's
convenient. That's what it is.
Convenient.
It's convenient. They're speaking an entirely different language. Oh, drink the ooze, and then there's like, oh, magically I can hear everybody and understand them.
I think there's a lot to look forward to with Marvel. To end it on a high note, we got Guardians.
Yes,
Guardians. I'm telling you right now,
that movie will hit.
There's no way it's gonna flop.
Yeah, there's no way. That movie will flop. People didn't like Guardians 2 when it came out. I remember it being kind of like a controversial thing. Dude, I think people would literally kill for Guardians 2 type movie right now. That's what Marvel needs. It needs a rebound.
And I think this might be the best Guardians movie, not to be off topic. But.
Yeah, I agree with you. But just it feels like ever since No Way Home, probably really ever since Endgame, there just hasn't been a Marvel movie that is like I've left the theater where I was like, dang, that was a pretty good movie. You know? Like, that was a really good movie. Yeah,
I've been a couple where I was like, okay, that was pretty good. But, yeah, I haven't been blown away since No Way Home. I was blown away by No Way Home.
I think the best Phase 4 movie, which other than No Way Home, I exclude that one because that one's in a league of its own. But I think, honestly, it was Shang-Chi. Like, looking back on it, maybe Multiverse. Maybe.
I would probably go Black Panther, but...
yeah, I mean...
But, yeah, I mean, I think there was a lot of decent movies and a lot of disappointing movies, considering how hyped up we were for them.
Yeah.
And then the best thing in Phase 4 to me, besides No Way Home, was...
Loki. Yeah, Loki. Yeah, which you will see at the... if you stay for the second post-credit scene. All in all, it wasn't... Go watch it. Go watch it. You may have a different opinion than we do. Go watch it.
Yeah, this has been a very... honest and open review here, but
I think it's just because we're sick of seeing, like, we saw the Platinum Age of Marvel, and it's hard to watch these movies that just don't feel like Marvel movies.
And I'm still going to continue to believe. Like, I know they'll get back to it. Guardians. I don't think this is a bad start to Phase 5. It's not bad by any stretch.
It could have been a lot worse.
And people who are watching this review and have watched the movie that like the movie, don't let our opinions sway yours. Enjoy the movie.
Yeah.
If you like the movie, just really enjoy it and don't let our opinions sway yours.
I mean, there's always stuff that you can get out of the movie that you're like, that was pretty good. Like, I enjoyed that part. We just, like, I think the expectations ruined our, like, enjoyment of the movie as much. Like, if we just walked in, like, not expecting anything, it probably would have been maybe better than we anticipated,
Yeah.
So, but I think, especially with the promise of King the Conqueror on screen for the first time ever,
it's hard not to be hyped for that.
Yeah, it's hard not to be hyped for that. So, but anyway, that wraps up our thoughts. If you've made it this far and you see all of our thoughts that are not in a linear fashion, they're all over the place. If you happen to make it this far, let us know what you guys think of our thoughts. Try to keep it cordial in the comments and let us know what you guys think about the movie. And thank you guys for watching. See you in the next one.